This week on the Spotlight, Kobe Bryant's last day at the United Center. I was there. We'll bring you some clips of his profound remarks. Then we'll go back to the Trivia Championship match 2015 from the SOC. We'll show you some clips of that. And then we go back in Bulls history. Remember Luke Longley from Australia? He was pretty good for a while. Let's go back to Sox Fest and General Manager Rick Hahn. Check out my website, benkowski.com, for my weekly article and up-to-the-minute trivia sites. It's the 29th year of the Lansing Floral Sports Spotlight. Flowers for every imaginable occasion at Lansing Floral Shop. Call them at 708-474-1212. They deliver. You've got to get to the Cove for Benkowski Trivia, Wednesday, March 9th at 8 p.m. Great people, great game. Easy to reach at 1750 East 55th Street. It's the last bar near the lake. The Cove and me. You've got to get to the SOC. Live Benkowski Trivia. Alternate Thursdays, 8 p.m., 93rd and Roberts Road. See you there. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. You've got to get to Dr. Sherman Clay, chiropractor. Gentle adjusting. Most insurance accepted. Massage therapy, too. Walk-ins are welcome. Call 773-324-4325. That's HEAL. Dr. Sherman Clay. Calabria Imports has Italian foods and a great deli. You mention this TV ad, and you get a free Joe tea with a sandwich order. Conveniently located at 1905 West 103rd Street, Calabria Imports has great stuff. Check it out. I do all the time. Since 1967, El Jardín has been serving the finest Mexican food. Before, after, during ball games, located conveniently just 3 blocks south of Wrigley Field, 3335 North Clark. Whether there's a game or not, you still get hungry, and El Jardín has great service, great food, and great drinks. I've enjoyed every meal I've had there, and you will too. So get to El Jardín for great Mexican food at 3335 North Clark Street in Chicago. You'll be glad you did. 773-233-7044. They're doing a great job for me. They'll do a great job for you. Family dentist, Lawrence Ferlin. I'm in the unique position of enjoying some virtual insanity by Jamiroquai, as, of course, we're at the United Center. And I want to tell you that there's this very unique and special feature on this program. As you see the Lakers warming up, you're going, what's up with the Lakers? And the simple fact is, Kobe Bryant's last game was this day in Chicago. And so he does a big press conference. We have some clips of it, and I have to say, although I knew Michael Jordan's name would come up, I didn't think it would be as long-lasting and as intensely impression as Kobe describes. But you'll hear some of that as Kobe says his farewell to Chicago and drew some national media for this final goodbye. And I guess he's got about probably 20, 25 of them under his belt right now as he heads toward April when the Lakers won't make the playoffs. So he's in his final moments.
It's still there, so kind of is what it is at this point. I mean, it's sore, but you know. No, I can feel it. I mean, the tip of my finger's a little numb, but yeah, I feel the ball pretty well still. Well, you know, I push it alive. It's a lot of responsibility to be able to get out there and play and perform, and the fans certainly deserve that, right? So it's definitely my responsibility if I'm able to get out there and perform.
Kobe, you had a great career, you won 5 championships. When you look back after you retired, what memory outside of the championships can stand out most to you?
The journey to get to those championships. Starting training camp and not knowing what's going to happen. Having all the dreams and aspirations, and kind of the peaks and valleys that come during the course of the year. I mean, all those things are great memories. The jokes in the locker room, some that I can share, some that I can't share. I mean, all those things are a part of it.
Kobe, what are your recollections coming to this building, particularly the first couple of times and going against Michael?
Getting schooled for a baseline dunk the first time I matched up with him. That was like the coolest thing. It was, because I'd seen that spin move so many times, and then I knew he was going to do it. But the timing on TV and then in person are two completely different things. So he just spun right before I thought he was going to spin, and I was like, man, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. So that's my first memory of it. And then coming to watch a game here with Jermaine O'Neal in the finals and sitting all the way up in the nosebleeds where Tony and Michael looked about that big, and enjoying the finals experience. So those are my 2 top memories.
Well, you met with John Paxson and Jerry Rensler in 2004 for UNC at Bellevue. In 2007, there was some noise about you being linked to the Bulls. What are your recollections of those 2 off seasons? And did either of those times did you feel like you were going to
I did. I mean, very much so. My wife and I were actually planning travel arrangements to come out to Chicago and look at some homes and schools and things like that. And then once Shaq demanded a trade, then it was like, there's no way they're going to trade me anywhere. So this sign and trade option just pretty much went off the table.
Kobe talked to Jason Kidd last night. He said that his elevator, when he guarded you, he just couldn't quite get up to the floor you were on. What do you remember about going against Jason?
Well, I mean, Jason was, when he was in Jersey, he was just extremely quick. And, his change of directions was the thing that always gave me the most trouble. And he had extremely quick hands, played with his body extremely well on the ball, right? So for me, I had to get to a proper spot and get a chance to elevate over him. But if his body was stuck to me, I knew he was going to get his hands in there, and it was going to be tough for me to get the ball up. So it was just it was fun matching up with him over the years. Though. You've known me for how long? Really? I seem like the type to cower to something like that. Come on, man. No.
So Kobe wasn't afraid to come to Chicago. It just didn't happen. We'll have more after these messages. You've got to get to Lansing Floral Shop. Open at 8 a.m. daily. Besides a great array of live flowers, they have custom silks, Bridgewater candles. They want you to plan your parties early at a wide delivery area. They're located at 3420 Ridge Road in Lansing, or you can call 708-474-1212. Weddings, funerals, birthdays, anniversaries, and guys, try the No Reason flower. Believe me, it works. Lansing Floral Shop. Give them a call, 708-474-1212. Kim G. Sherman, psychotherapist, Des Plaines Wellness Center. Therapy for individuals, couples, families. Call 847-962-4849. I've known Kim for over 20 years. She is a true professional, and she will help you. Give her a call. Family Dentist, Lawrence Furlan, DDS, 109th and Kedzie, crowns, veneers, cleanings, improving your smile. They do a great job. Call 773-233-7044. Excellent work, impeccable. Call the Family Dentist, 773-233-7044. They did a great job for me, and they'll do a great job for you. You've got to get to Del Sur Mexican Restaurant, open for lunch and dinner daily. Spectacular new menu and my trivia game, Friday, March 11th at 6 p.m. 46th and Halsted. Great food, great fun. Just all over a good time. Del Sur, 46th and Halsted. You'll be glad you went. We're back with Rick Hahn on the Spotlight. The White Sox GM had a great off-season, and he's here to talk about more of it.
That's a very strong possibility, yes. He'll come into camp along with Carlos Sanchez right now and compete for that job. We have a lot of confidence in Tyler, especially from a defensive standpoint, and should he wind up on the club as the everyday shortstop, hitting out of the 9-hole, we know he's going to be able to do certain things that we're looking for out of that spot in terms of putting the ball in play and hitting behind runners and playing the game in a smart way.
As far as your lineup goes, you want to score more runs, of course, and you have numerical plateaus that you want to reach the runs scored this week?
Internally, we try to set targets when we project what a lineup's going to do and try to, from both a run scoring and runs allowed standpoint, create enough of a separation that we feel confident in projecting a playoff club. It's not vital that you hit a certain run scoring number per se, so long as the separation is strong enough that you're got enough wins in between those two numbers. But you're right. We went through this offseason with improving the offense being one of our main goals. We do think some of that is going to come from internal improvements from some of the players who have track records or some of the players that are continuing in their development. But we also feel both at catcher, third, and second, we've been able to already make upgrades that are going to improve us offensively. But it remains a priority. Right through opening day, it will remain a priority.
Rick, in a way, is this kind of a make or break season in that if you don't make the playoffs, with the additions from this year and the players from last year stepping up, that you start to revamp, that you take a different approach? Does this team have to be in the postseason?
Look, we work in professional sports, so every season is arguably a make or break season. We have high expectations for this club, just as we had high expectations last year, but perhaps even higher entering the 26th season than we were a year ago at this time in terms of what we think we're capable of accomplishing. If for whatever reason, hypothetically, things don't go our way, not only will we unpack why that happened. Was it a player personnel issue? Was it a health issue? Was it the decisions that the front office made, and that was the problem? And have to take a critical look, like we do every offseason, in which we don't reach our goals and decide what the best course is. The notion that could we change directions? Could we go, say, to a total rebuild situation? Everything's always on the table when you don't achieve your goals. At this point, we decided it was important to take advantage of the talent that we had on this roster, and Chris Sale and Jose Abreu and Eaton and Rodon and Quintana all entering arguably the primes of their career, that we didn't feel that at this time that was the right move to make. We felt it was time to augment that roster, not subtract from it and put the goal off several years, so to speak.
You've added.
That last year, what do you think was missing most, maybe even off the field, for this team to kind of achieve some of those goals?
I think it was a combination of where we were from an offensive standpoint. We obviously weren't executing, weren't scoring enough runs. We were pleased with the way the revamped bullpen came along, and obviously the rotation was solid for most of the year. So the run scoring was the priority. From a clubhouse or off the field standpoint, we had made a strong effort to bring in some high character individuals. Some of them, because they struggled early, weren't really able to sort of assume that type of role in the clubhouse, but now as they enter their second year with the club, I think that's going to be a little bit easier. Now that Adam Eaton has more time under his belt, I think it's going to be a little easier for him. Obviously, everyone in this room knows what Todd Frazier and his makeup's all about, and guys like Avila and Navarro have been important cogs everywhere they've gone. So we certainly have the individual capable of leading and keeping that focus on what we're trying to accomplish as a whole.
Rick, would adding one more hitter not only help your batting order, but push some people to have to perform and stay on the field themselves?
The more options we have, the easier it is for Robin to go with the best lineup. So if there is, whether it's the group that we have today or if there is another addition, it will create a situation where the best guys are going to play. And certainly would love to be to put Robin in the spot where he has more choices, more quality choices to make, and he's able to use the lineup card as a meritocracy, and the best guys play.
We'll have more from Sox Fest next week. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. Go play at Red Shoes Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski in Alsip, featuring 16 Brunswick Gold Crown pool tables, drop fluorescent lighting fixtures, and a fabulous grade of cloth. Call 708-388-3700. And now video gaming is available at Red Shoes from open till close. And don't forget the Illinois Lottery too. That's Red Shoe Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski. You know you should get to the Dirty Sock on alternate Thursdays at 8 p.m. when I do my trivia game. They have great food, great drink, great people at 93rd and Roberts Road. It's a fun place. I've been going there for years. So start coming out on Thursday nights at least. I'll see you at 8 o'clock. We'll have fun. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie does tune-ups, transmission, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes, and emission system repair. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and they've done a great job for me. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie. You've got to get to Papa Joe's new location, 5900 West 111th Street. Italian beef, tetrazzini, great pizza, Parmesan, ravioli, and more. All my classic choices. New location, and they can still deliver into the city. Get to Papa Joe's.
Going. 1835.
You say 1835?
Yeah.
Must not look good to you. That's too far back. We go to Night Out for Bell. Louder. 1847 is exact. Wow. That's impressive. Go to 7 bills. Jordan and Marks are up on Birth or Sports of the 90s. What you want to play? Birth. The city of Chicago. (1837). You are such a good citizen. All you Crusaders are. 120. Jordan Marks to 1170. Sock Danger is up. Birth. Ladies only. Most occupied piercings. Get up here. So it's a sock danger against a sock bar. The most piercings in your body. Come here. All right, what do you got? Okay, just come here. Let's count. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, stay there. You have 0? Okay, 6 wins. All right, so 140. Sock Danger's greatest moment. 950.
7 and 8.
All right, everybody on the brink of 1,000, pretty much. All right, Sock Bar may select. In the NHL in 1992, when the Blackhawks lost to Pittsburgh in the finals, they beat 3 teams in their own conference to get to the finals. Name 2 of the teams they beat.
Edmonton Oilers and Detroit Red Wings.
Yes, Edmonton, Detroit, and St. Louis was the other, 100. Very nice. So, it brings you guys to 1080. Look kind of young to know that. All right, Stoogie is up. Major League second baseman, who 1 year in our lifetime, since 1980, had 50 doubles and 50 stolen bases in the same season. And he's in the Hall of Fame now.
Robbie Alomar.
Robbie Alomar is a great try, not it. We go to Shy Sharks. Pardon me?
Craig Biggio.
Craig Biggio is correct. 120. Shy Sharks, 1180. And a log jam at the top here. 5 teams over 1,000. JMB.
Sports.
In the 1993 NBA Finals, after John Paxson made the spectacular game-winning basket, I was in line to go to the media room, and 2 Bulls were lined up to be interviewed. And one of them said, "Pax, what a great shot." And he had tears in his eyes. Name that Bull.
We're going to throw.
You're going to throw for 140. 140.
And all we need is one big one.
You didn't have to say Scottie Pippen. 140. JMB to 1340. And they take the lead in the game. You've got to get the Jacks. 3325 Ridge Road in Lansing. Trivia every Tuesday at 7 p.m. A very intense competitive game. Any of half a dozen teams can win. Oliver's, 6100 West 159th Street. My live trivia game. Thursday, the next one, March 3rd. 7 p.m. start. Very competitive and fun. Check it out. Oliver's and my trivia together. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie is great. Tune-ups, transmissions, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. They do a great job for me, and they'll do a great job for you. They're quick, and they don't charge an arm and a leg. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair, 108th and Kedzie. Trivia will be at the Sock. Alternate Thursdays at 8 p.m. 93rd and Roberts Road. Great food, great drink, great people. Everything great. Del Sur Mexican Restaurant, open for lunch and dinner daily. Spectacular new menu. And my trivia game, Friday, March 11th at 6 p.m. Easy to reach at 46th and Halsted. Great food, great fun at Del Sur. Reggie's is a great place with tons of music, interesting people and staff, great food and drink at 21st and State. And amongst the cool things they have, Benkowski Trivia. All shows are now Monday at 6 p.m. Reggie's, 21st and State, a fun place. It was clear from the outset that Michael wanted to show that he was up and ready. So his involvement in the offense, regardless of what anybody else had to say about it, really precluded other players from getting off the blocks in the first quarter. And as a result, a lot of people were standing around watching Michael shoot and shoot and shoot to the tune of 17 for 35. Michael won the game, but it left some doubts about what would happen with the rest of the offense in game number 2.
I think just both teams probably keyed up, over revved perhaps, who knows.
Luke, you talked about your role the other day. You had to play a lot of minutes. You had to, be in the game and save some fouls. How do you feel about your play today?
I thought I played pretty well, made some horrible plays, made some good plays, but in general the overall effect was what I needed to do, yeah.
Do you agree with Steve Kerr? He just said that it was a bad game offensively for you guys.
It was. We really couldn't couldn't get out of the funk, so to speak, offensively. We just, we didn't move the ball well. We obviously didn't shoot the ball very well, and the fact that we won the game play as bad as we did is a positive for us.
Luke, what about the idea that Michael had to get himself going early and as a result couldn't get it into you to get established early?
Well, I don't like to contradict you, but I had two opportunities early in the game, posting up opportunities. So I threw a couple of hook shots, and I actually felt good. I felt like I was involved, and no, I don't think that was a problem. I like it when Michael gets off early.
Why don't you like to contradict us?
Well, I mean,
That's what you should do, don't you?
Right, okay, well, I'll do more of it then. It's not hard.
Luke, often we saw Ewing go to the outside and shoot that outside jumper more often than we usually see him. Is that a credit to you for beating him to his spots when he was on offense?
Partially. I think also he's probably one of their best spot-up jump shooters, and they know that I'm always going to sink and help, try and help defensively, and I got to break that habit, or else I think he had his first 10 or 12 points from 15 or 18 feet, and I got to stay with him a little better than I did today.
Luke, when you're free inside, you're going to concentrate on dunking more. A couple of balls got away from you.
Next.
Who's the missing link down the stretch in terms of taking it to the hole?
Execution. I think our offensive execution was very, very suspect. We had a lot of random situations where we didn't get solid offensive sets, and that costs you when the game is on the line.
Can you physically and mentally wear them out in the next few games?
Physically and mentally?
Well, I mean, one going into the other.
I don't think so. Physically, I think inside we can. I don't think mentally they're going to be worn down. They've been here too many times. They know what a war is all about, and they have warriors on their team, so they're going to be ready to play. And I think the important thing is for the Knicks not to worry about Chicago so much, but just make sure that we're ready for war.
How ready for war? John Starks to be ready for war Tuesday?
John will bounce back. I have all the confidence in the world that John will regroup and he'll come back and play well on Tuesday.
You're talking about being ready for war, but one of the things that you're going to have to cut down is the second and third shots that they got tonight.
That's very, very important. I think that's another thing that was a thorn in our side this afternoon is the fact that they did get second shots. I think at halftime they had scored 13 points on second shots, and that was probably a third of their points at halftime. So, if we can limit some of those things, I think we have even a better chance.
What about the idea this could be the last hurrah for this group of Knicks to this deep into the playoffs?
I haven't really given that a lot of thought. I think at this point you have to go for it, and once everything is over with, then that's what this league is all about. It's about change and adjusting to change and moving on.
That's a good philosophy, but I'm afraid this is it, fellow Knicks. This is the end of the line. So sorry. Tip of the cap to Rick Hahn. He just keeps going after it. He's got Jimmy Rollins now. The new White Sox shortstop has turned 37 years old. You wonder how much he has left in the tank. 9,100 at-bats. 2,200 games played in the major leagues. 2,400 hits. He's a three-time All-Star. In 2007, he was the MVP. He's got 4 gold gloves. Oh, and did I say, in 2008, his Phillies won the World Series. So he comes with that kind of pedigree. He's got to help in the locker room, and I'm happy. We'll see you next week. Lansing Floral, 708-474-1212.
Huck Finn, a great wide-ranging menu, along with donuts and ice cream. Open 24 hours at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Imprint Graphics, leaders in booklet, perfect bound saddle stitch, very competitive pricing. Call 708-396-1010.